It's Backyard Brawl week, baby, as West Virginia prepares to go up north and face the Pitt Panthers on September the 14th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on ESPN2. Biggest rivalry game of the year for both teams. And in this episode, which is brought to you in part by BetUS Online Sportsbook and Casino, I'm going to give you 5 reasons that the West Virginia Mountaineers will win this game on Saturday. And I'm going to give you those reasons right after this word from my other channel sponsor. Since 1931, the attorneys at Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner have been the voice for victims who have suffered serious injury or death. They have a fierce passion for truth and justice and a sincere compassion for those who have been wronged by others. Whether you have been in a car accident or fighting with an insurance company, or you or a loved one has suffered serious injury or death due to medical negligence, we will ensure your voice is heard loud and clear. Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner will ensure there is justice for all West Virginians because we are your lawyer, your voice. Visit us at yourlawyeryourvoice.com. What is up? Welcome in to another edition of Couz's Corner. Come on in, make yourself comfortable, belly yourself up to the bar, and let me serve you up this shot of top-shelf college football content. On tap at Couz's Corner today, we're talking about the Backyard Brawl, baby. And we're talking about the 5 reasons that my West Virginia Mountaineers are going to win the game. Now, I will do a part 2 to the series, a more negative look, and we'll look at 5 reasons how West Virginia may lose the game to Pitt on Saturday. So stay tuned for that here in the next day or so. But right now, let's talk about the 5 reasons the Mountaineers will win the game. And the first reason is pretty self-explanatory, but it's quarterback Garrett Green. Can he run wild all over the Pitt Panthers, as our friend Pat McAfee likes to say? And in this game, it's going to come down to a lot more than just Garrett's legs. Yes, Garrett can do some damage with his legs, and I expect he will. But Garrett is going to be relied upon to make plays in the pass game. Now, he was able to do that in week 2 against Albany. He completed about 74% of his passes. And I know what a lot of people are thinking, but Couz, it was Albany, and I understand it, and that is a fair take and a fair criticism. But an accurate pass is an accurate pass, and he was accurate with his passes. There were a couple drops in the game, but outside of that, he threw the ball pretty well. Have to give him credit. He also ran the ball for almost 70 yards and a touchdown. So Garrett had a really good week in week 2 and made kind of redeemed himself from his subpar performance in week 1 against Penn State. The other thing about Garrett Green that's interesting is Pitt really hasn't seen Garrett. If you recall, he was injured on the first drive of the game last year. Nico Marchiol had to come in and finish the game. West Virginia was able to get a victory, but they had to rely strictly on the running game and forcing turnovers for the most part. Well, this year, Garrett, assuming he stays healthy throughout the game, will really have his first true shot at Pitt as the starting quarterback for the Mountaineers. And that's exciting to me because Pitt has not seen a quarterback like Garrett so far. But nonetheless, it'll be their first time looking at Garrett, and I think that's a little bit of an advantage for Garrett and the Mountaineers. Now, they have plenty of film on him, I get it, but it's a whole lot different once you get out there and the ball snapped and the fans are screaming and it's game time, right? Whole different animal. But I think Garrett Green is the first and foremost and most important factor in this game and is the number one reason West Virginia wins. The second reason West Virginia wins the game, they will be able to slow down the Pitt running attack. Now, Pitt is running the ball really well right now. We all know that's what Pat Narduzzi really likes to do. They have new offensive coordinator in Cade Bell, who is being more aggressive and is throwing the ball more, which I'll touch on in a second. But their bread and butter is going to be running the football to open up the pass game. They have running back Desmond Reid, who in 2 games has carried the ball 33 times for 293 yards. That's 8.9 yards per carry, and he does have a touchdown. So he's a really good back. He's a transfer from Western Carolina, came over with his offensive coordinator, Cade Bell. So can West Virginia slow down that running game? I think they can. The linebackers for West Virginia have been playing really well. The highest grade of players in both games on the defensive side have been linebackers. Reed Carrico, Josiah Trotter, Trey Lathan, Ben Cutter have all played well. Also expect the West Virginia defensive front to play well. Now, Edward Vesterinen is one of their best run stoppers. He will be out for the game and will be out for several weeks, but I have faith in Sean Martin. I have faith in T.J. Jackson. I have faith in Asani Redwood and the rest of that defensive front, Hammond Russell. I think they can slow down the Pitt running attack and try to force Pitt to throw the football, which brings us to number 3. Improved pass defense. Now, West Virginia's pass defense did not play well the first 2 weeks, especially last week against Albany. That's fair. But they played pretty vanilla, according to Coach Jordan Leslie. So they didn't put as much on tape, and they were able to get some weaknesses exposed that they might be able to fix in week 3, whether it's personnel changes, whether it's scheme changes, whatever. They have time to fix it now that they have it on film in the first 2 games. And I think they can. Is West Virginia's pass defense going to be elite? I don't think it is. But I do think it'll be better and will be good enough to win the game, because I also think West Virginia will do a better job of getting pressure on quarterback Eli Holstein, who, oh, by the way, is having a pretty good year so far. He's completed 50 for 75 passes, which is good for 66.7%, 635 yards and 6 touchdowns to go along with 2 picks. So he's playing well, and he's a lot better than the quarterback they had a year ago. He's probably not going to he's probably not going to throw, 3 interceptions or whatever it was that their quarterback threw last year. I don't see it. Phil Dracovic, that's who it was. I don't see him playing that bad. He's going to play better. He's a transfer from Alabama. Alabama doesn't recruit bad quarterbacks. The kid's talented. But I do think West Virginia's defense will do just enough in the pass game to win, because I think they'll get pressure on him with TJ Jackson, with Ty French, with Tyron Bradley, with Sean Martin, with the linebackers, maybe even with Aubrey Burks coming from the spear position. That in combination with the tweaks and improvements they'll make in the secondary, I think they will do enough to win the game. Now, let's talk a little bit about, before I get to numbers 4 and 5, let's talk a little bit about the spread of this game. This game started off with West Virginia as a 5.5-point favorite. Well, lo and behold, the spread has dropped to 2.5, according to our good friends over at BetUS Online Sportsbook and Casino. And as you see on the screen right now, West Virginia is, like I said, favored by 2.5. The over-under on the game is 60.5. If you want to place a bet, take advantage of BetUS's special they have going on right now. If you use promo code YouTube150 at checkout, you will get a 150% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. That's right, 150% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Take advantage of that with promo code YouTube150. Do that today if you plan on betting. And please, if you do plan on betting, please do so responsibly and do not bet more than you can afford. And you also need to be 18 years old to do so. All right, let's keep going. Number 4 reason West Virginia will win the game, coaching and scheme. Now, Jordan Leslie said in his post-game radio interview that they were pretty much vanilla on defense. They didn't show a whole lot because they didn't want to put a lot on tape. And because they figured they were the superior team, they didn't want to get too fancy. They just wanted to win one-on-ones. Now, they didn't win a lot of those one-on-ones, so it came back to bite them a little bit, but they were still able to win the football game. And at the end of the day, that's the main thing, right? So they might be able to make some schematic changes on the defensive side of the ball that Pitt has not seen yet, that West Virginia may not have even showed in the Penn State game. What will those be? Will they have guys playing in different positions? Will they have, for example, will they have Aubrey playing more spear than he's been playing? Will they use Rodney Gallagher less at the nickel spot? I don't know. There's different things they can do defensively to change things up. Or will they just play more man, less zone, more zone, less man, whatever? There's a lot of things they can do differently that they haven't done yet. It'll be interesting to see what they do in this game. And on the offensive side, Coach Brown, in my opinion, a lot of people criticize his play calling, and at times it's fair, but I think overall, Coach Brown is a good play caller. Do I agree with every decision he makes? Absolutely not. But I think overall he's a good play caller. And I thought last year he did a great job managing the game, calling the game against Pitt, taking advantage of their strengths, which was the run game. Didn't ask Nico to do too much because he was the backup. I expect him to do something similar. I expect him to use a lot more motions, a lot more shifts. I expect him to put Garrett in good positions to be successful and in good positions to basically make plays in the pass game and take advantage of what is probably the weakest part of the Pitt defense, and that's the secondary. So I look for coaching and scheme to play a huge factor in this game and be a reason that West Virginia wins on Saturday. Now, reason number 5 is West Virginia is going to force some turnovers to win. That's the 5th way they can win this game. Force turnovers. Try to win the turnover battle by at least a couple turnovers, hopefully, whether it be getting pressure on Eli Holstein, forcing an interception or 2, whether it be knocking the ball loose and forcing a fumble. But West Virginia can force some turnovers in this game, get a couple extra possessions, utilize that quarterback that I mentioned earlier, maybe even make a couple shot plays down the field after getting a turnover with Garrett Green's arm, take advantage of some one-on-one battles downfield with people like, I don't know, Hudson Clement or Justin Robinson or Jaden Bray, whoever, after a turnover, because we all know that's a huge momentum change. This is on the road, though, and you're going to have to probably take the crowd out of the game a little bit, even though there probably will be a lot of West Virginia fans in attendance. It is still an away game, and Pitt fans will outnumber West Virginia fans, even if it's only by a small margin. What are your reasons that West Virginia wins the game? Let me know in the comment section. Also, don't forget, I will be doing a follow-up, 5 reasons West Virginia could lose the game to Pitt. But I want to hear your thoughts. Also, don't forget, hit the thumbs up button if you like this content. Subscribe to the channel if you like this content. Share it with your family and friends. I want to give another shout-out to the sponsors of the show, BetUS Online Sportsbook and Casino, and Cats, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner. Thank them for helping me keep the lights on. Also want to give a shout-out to my VIP members of this episode, WVU Fan 13, Joey Foster, Stormy Cyclone, Andrew Starcher, and Pokemon Kid Entertainment. If you want to become a member of this club, hit the join button below or go to my channel homepage and hit join over there. There are perks that go along with it. All of it is explained once you hit the button. Ask for you to check out the video in the top corner of your screen. I appreciate you tuning into this episode. Have a top shelf day and cue country roads.